I've always enjoyed making pictures. I like the people that I'm around. I like the actors, the actresses, the grips, the electricians. Regardless of what the story is, I'd like to work in pictures. To me, it's always a job of work.
Filmmakers of the highest order made cinema the dominant art form of the 20th century. They moved millions, elevated ideas, wrote history with light and shadow. One such director, Orson Welles, said that he learned the power of cinema, of what it could do and what it could say, from the old masters, by which he meant John Ford, and John Ford.
I'm a hard-nosed director. I get a script, if I like it, I'll do it. If I don't like it, I'll turn it down. But Jesus Christ, I'm not carrying messages or anything.
Meet John Ford, the winner of 4 Academy Awards for Best Director, the most for any one filmmaker. The Informer, The Grapes of Wrath, How Green Was My Valley, The Quiet Man. As a commander in the United States Navy Reserve, he earned 2 additional Academy Awards for documentaries made during World War II, one actually shot during the Battle of Midway.
Yes, this really happened.
Ford's cinema spoke of many things, but it was never more eloquent than as the voice of Americans. Warriors and the working class, soldiers and saints. He told of the truth in legends and painted portraits of the oppressed and those left behind in the parades of victory.
I always had an eye for composition. That's all I did have. As a kid, I thought I was going to be an artist. I used to sketch and paint a great deal. I never thought about it in terms of art or this is world-shaking.
While Ford celebrated the past, he never took his eye off the inherent darkness often underneath. There's the heroism of loners and outsiders bridging the divide between civilization and the wilderness. But simmering in the national consciousness is seething intolerance between men and women of all stripes, and blood spilled in fire.
Which one of you killed James? I did.
Savage violence shot out in Ford's My Darling Clementine. And there stood a deathless hate between Ethan Edwards and his Comanche counterpart Scar in The Searchers.
It sure is a turning of the earth.
Ford's vision of America holds true today, of a nation still struggling to define itself, often in turmoil, with liberty and justice for all.
Old friend, what would you do?
I was always a great student, avid reader of Americana.
Ford tells American myths again and again, sometimes in unexpected ways. Even though How Green Was My Valley is about Welsh miners, it bears an unmistakable imprint of the shared memory of ritual and music within American culture. In films such as Fort Apache and They Were Expendable, he finds greater truths in stories about glory in defeat, not victory. Ford knew personally that much was revealed about people in moments of crisis and death. The canvas was American history, but there was a simplicity to Ford's films that expressed complex emotions of characters trying to make sense of their place within epochs. When John Quaylen cries out at the injustice of losing his home in 1940's The Grapes of Wrath, it is a moment that was felt by millions living through a time of great upheaval.
Being born on it, and working on it, and dying on it, and not no piece of paper with a writing on it.
Wrongfully accused Sergeant Rutledge, played by Woody Strode, puts his faith in a proud and storied American institution that may or may not be faithful to him.
Sergeant Rutledge, how do you plead? Not guilty to both charges, sir.
And in The Searchers, unspoken longings are revealed in a tender, private moment without a word of dialogue between Ethan Edwards and his brother's wife.
I have no personal feelings about pictures. If the script is good, I'd do a picture about anybody.
Ford was considered to be one of the top directors to ever come out of Hollywood. He was respected and envied by peers, hailed by critics, and succeeded at the box office. But it's not easy to conclude what Ford thought of himself. Was he just a director of westerns, as he famously said to a collection of fellow filmmakers in 1950? Or was he something more akin to the sensitive artist, a poet with a movie camera?
Jesus, you can really ask some jawbreakers, for Christ's sake. I'm getting bored as hell with this.
John Ford was a man of deep private emotions and convictions, but loath to let anyone know it. In She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, John Wayne's Nathan Brittles, a proud officer in the United States Cavalry, says goodbye to the only life he's ever known. He bows out by the book, stoic and formal, but bestows upon the moment a reflection of his true nature.
To Captain Brittles, lest we forget.
When the words directed by John Ford burn onto the screen, you know you're getting something worth seeing, a picture worth saving, a voice to be reckoned with still.
Well, that's your opinion.